In the quiet moments, that's where I'll find a little room to breathe, leave it all behind. Give me room to breathe, I need some time to heal my heart, to clear my mind. Gonna love myself, yeah, I believe in the power of me. Just give me room to breathe.
Great new day to all my self-care family and friends. Welcome back to the Room2Breathe Podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so glad that you made space to be here with us today. Now, before we get into this episode, do me a quick favor. If you're feeling the vibe, go ahead and show us some love. Tap that screen, like, comment, and be sure to share this out with someone who may need a little healing energy today. And if this is your first time here or you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that follow button. Subscribe to our channel so that way you're always tapped in when a new episode drops. I also want to personally invite you to check out our digital home at theselfcareclub.org, where you will find everything from affirmative apparel to motivational merch and free resources to help nourish your growth and to remind you that you're supported every step of the way. Just know that you don't have to do this alone. We are healing in community, growing one breath, one moment, one day at a time. So today, I urge you to give yourself permission to pause, to reflect, and to make space for peace, for growth, and most importantly, for you. And remember, if anything in today's episode hits home, be sure to drop a green heart in the chat. That is our community's way of saying I am healing, I am growing, and I'm showing up for me. Now, let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together. Today, family, we are joined by a powerful guest. She is a mother, a survivor, an author, an entrepreneur, and just an overall healer who is here to talk about reclaiming your voice, loving yourself unapologetically, and releasing the parts of you that no longer serve you. Family, please help me welcome the awesome Shawnda Riley-Lovelace into the room to breathe. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
Before we get into your story, Queen, I want to take a moment to just check in with your soul. And I'm going to ask you, how's your spirit doing today?
My spirit is absolutely amazing. I am refreshed, I am fulfilled, and I am renewed.
Yes, I know that's right. That's what coming back from a cruise will do for you, girl.
Amen. Amen.
And can we all just join in and say happy belated birthday to this queen as well? She was
Oh, thank you.
Next time, take us with you, girl, okay? Take us with you.
Absolutely. I got extra space in my baggage. Come on along.
Exactly. We can write it off as a business thing. Don't worry.
Absolutely. You got it. You got it.
I so love your energy. From the moment that we connected, I was like, she my people, okay? And I know that the rest of the family is going to feel that today. Girl, I've been super excited to just get into this whole conversation with you, this journey. It's like, I talk self-care all the time. Everything is about healing and, mental health awareness. But when I say after the conversation with you, it just kind of sparked something in me. And I was like, oh, I cannot wait to bring her into the room to breathe so we can get into this, discussion of transformation, healing, and honestly, just rediscovering the best parts of you, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, girl.
Absolutely.
I can't even hold it back no more. Never have I ripped out a book this soon. Listen, y'all. Listen, we about to get into this. Your book is, first of all, the title of the book, She Not Coming Back. I Buried Her Myself.
Yes.
Like, she said it with her chest, y'all.
Absolutely.
Can you share, what inspired you to write it? And maybe just kind of explain to us what burying her truly means to you.
So let's go back to The first time I had my first stroke was in 2007.
Mhm.
I was just the age of 30. Um, Still mothering. I've been a mom since I was 15, but it's something hard about having your children to have to care for you when they're still young and impressionable. My second stroke came in in 2008, so a little after I was 31, and my most recent one back in 2021. Um, After that last stroke, it was something so tumultuous to me because it was a question of why does this keep happening to me? And sometimes when we ask ourselves, why does something keep happening to us? We don't realize that sometimes God is making it happen for us because all three of those strokes happened sitting behind the desk working for a job. A lot of the times we also put ourselves in our perspective where we people please. So it's okay, I need to be the fastest one to get my work done. And I need to be the fastest one to do this and do that. But in doing that, people rely on you a whole lot more. And you don't realize that it's not about getting there faster. It's about taking your time and pacing yourself because when you don't, people take advantage of that. And then when you can no longer produce on that level, then you become a problem. And people don't see that you're exhausted. They just
Right.
say, okay, well, your work is no longer up to par. And
Yeah.
then I've also dealt with the friendship barriers, the bad relationships, the healing while I was trying to be a mom. I had I got married the first time when I was just 23, moved all the way across the country to Colorado Springs. That was an abusive relationship. I escaped. It was more abuse for my kids than it was me. But sometimes you love people more than they ever plan to love you.
Mhm.
Um, and in doing that, you forget about who you are. So after my last stroke, I got to the point where I said to myself, hey, what is it that you need to do differently? And
Yeah.
when my job said, hey, we gave your job to somebody else, I was like, maybe this is God's way of saying it's time for you to move on. And I've been telling you this for a long time. Are you ready to listen?
Yeah.
So I took some time out for me, and that was the beginning of me writing my book. Not too long after, I went to my first love, which is working with kids. And I've been there for the last 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's so crazy to me how so much of your story aligns with me. I actually started out working with kids. Got
Oh.
into the got married probably when I was 20 the first time.
Mm,
Had a toxic relationship, got out of that and went, from the grease to the fire to have a
mm,
10-year abusive relationship. Um,
mm.
and then, kind of got back out of it. Um, but I mean, again, just to hear the alignment, you know what I mean? Like our situations are so similar. Um, and I know it ain't nothing but God who done brought us here together because
Alignment.
yeah, like alignment, right? Alignment and obedience. You got the alignment,
Amen.
I got the obedience, sis, because it's just when I listen to the stories, I always end up getting chills. Like I'll be like, they not finna make me cry today. And I'll be looking at y'all like, who told y'all my story? you know, y'all in my business. And okay, listen, speaking of in my business, I'm gonna have a full transparency moment with you guys. When I first saw this book, okay, y'all, look, and I'm gonna keep pulling it up. When I first saw this book, y'all bear with us, okay? She already know what I'm about to say. That's why she laughing. When I first saw this book, okay, initially, I'm not gonna lie, the title of the book caught me, right? But then when I opened the book and saw the table of contents, y'all, I ain't never cried over a table of contents. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but when I say that every single chapter of this book felt intentional, like I took this book into my therapist and was like, who you been telling my business to? Because I swear she wrote this book to me, y'all. Like, listen, we're gonna pause for the cause for a second because I need them to understand. Do I have your permission? Do I have your permission to read these chapters? Yeah, I need y'all to understand why. I need y'all to fully understand why sis on this show today. Chapter 1, the day I buried her. Chapter 2, I loved him more than he ever planned to love me. Chapter 3, even blood can be toxic. Number 4, she was the strong friend until she wasn't. Number 5, the friendship that expired because I grew. Number 6, you can't heal what you keep hiding. Number 7, forgiving myself for not knowing better. 8, when you realize you're the villain in your own story.
That's a big one.
Girl. Number 9, healing while mothering. 10, relearning how to love my body. Girl, 10 is probably where I first shed tears, but I'm gonna keep it moving. This ain't about me today, y'all. 11, God, are you still with me? 12, I'm not angry, I'm just done. 13, the burnout I never admitted. 14, my boundaries are not up for debate. 15, peace is my new love language. 16, I am the love I was looking for. 17, unapologetically her. 18, my softness is sacred. 19, she's not the one you used to know. And 20, she gone and I don't miss her. Y'all, listen, like when I say I feel your pain, you know what I mean? Like everybody that I have read this content to, they're like, where do I get it? Like, I feel like they're going to pause this podcast right here. This is the part where y'all supposed to go get it and not just add it to your cart, but I need y'all to check out and purchase it immediately. Okay. Sis, can you talk about how, like the process you went through when you structured those chapters and why you chose to, I guess, maybe organize the book in the manner that you did?
So, all of those subjects were very touchy subjects for me. And believe it or not, they were the ballpoint of a lot of my stress, a lot of my depression, a lot of my not loving myself, a lot of me allowing people to just do as they wanted when it came to me. And this book was my way of fighting back um, in a way that I couldn't out loud at one particular point in time. 'Cause, you know, they always say sometimes with people, if you want to just keep something from somebody, you put it in a book.
Mhm.
Well, this time I said, I guess I can put it in a book, but it ain't gonna be gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Um, but I needed to get it out of me. It was bringing me so much pain. It
Yeah.
was destroying me, and I mean, like, it was putting me to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed most days. You know, it's hard when you have a 20-year friendship, you know, with someone that you thought you would be sisters for life, and then after you're no longer friends, you start looking back and you're saying, well, dang, I realized something. I was always there for that person, but they was never there for me.
Yeah.
If you saw that child today and asked her what my birthday was, I guarantee you she couldn't tell you.
Mm.
But I still remember hers. And that's what true friendship is. When I
Yeah.
talk about loving him more than he ever planned to love me, believe it or not, that is not about one specific man in my life.
Girl.
That
'Cause
is about every man in my life. And what it ultimately made me realize was that I was choosing the same man over and over. and
Mhm.
over again. And it's like a cycle that needed to be broken. It's like, when are you gonna break this cycle, girl? Like, you keep
Yeah.
accepting this from the same type of man. Like, haven't you been here before? But my
Yes.
mom always has this saying, enough is enough, and too much can make a dog sick. And evidently, you ain't sick of it yet. So when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll walk away. And I guess that's when I finally decided to walk away.
Yeah.
Um, but I was also always the yes person. I never said no. I never said no. Oh, can you do this? Sure, yeah. Can you come here? Yeah, sure. Can I have you to do this for me? It was never no. But
Yeah.
it's in those moments that you also realize that when you go to ask somebody for something, it's every excuse in the book.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I can't do that.
Also, when I talk about relearning how to love my body, I'm a plus size. I'm a thickums, and but sometimes it's like when you have a lot of friends and they're all on the smaller side, and you just look at the things they have on, you be like, God, they're so pretty. Oh, I wish I could look like them.
Yeah.
And it was just so crazy to me. It's like I had so much love and admiration for them, but not enough for myself. And I had to come when I started therapy myself. The one thing my therapist kept saying is like, you act like you can't change it. Like, everything can be changed.
Yeah.
You just have to want to change it, and you have to want it for yourself. But until you get to that point where you're ready to change, you got to learn how to start loving on yourself in the way that you were always meant to be loved.
Yeah.
So I started going back getting my nails done, girl. I go sit in that chair and get my feet done.
Yes.
It's me
Mhm.
time. I go get my hair retwisted once a month. I do things for me. I even take self-care vacations.
Yes.
I get ghost. I would tell my
Yeah.
husband, hi, I'm gone. I'm bye. I'm out of here. And you will
Right.
see when I get back.
Right. You're like, love you. Bye.
Yeah, but when I come back, I'm the best version for myself and for my family. Because sometimes I just need those points where I'm like, I need to go away and I need to cry.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think that crying is weak. No, crying is actually a release. You're releasing
Yes.
trauma. You're releasing things that were bounding you. You are releasing things that were just weighing you down.
Yeah.
And I just go and take myself on self-care dates. I will go and sit down and have dinner with myself. I'll go and watch a movie by myself. I'll go sit on the beach in a beach chair for hours on hours and not do nothing but look out at the water. But it's
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
me. And that is how I continuously heal.
Yes. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I wish that people would understand. Like, healing doesn't always look pretty. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But healing is what you make it. You
Amen.
know, and it is a very powerful thing. And at the end of the day, you can't heal. Again, like one of your chapters said, you can't heal what you keep pretending like you don't feel.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of this repetitive cycle, nothing changes if nothing changes. And at some point, you have to be mature enough to say, it's me. I'm the common denominator. Like,
Right.
I can remember in my toxic cycle of boyfriends, right? That they all look different. So I was like, I don't have a type. So I was that person be like, I don't have a type. They all look different. We got tall, we got short, we got light, we got dark. Girl, I ain't have a type. Okay, my first husband was from Pakistan. I ain't had no type. Okay. So then I was like, wait a minute. I don't have a type, girl. I got a tagline. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Every man that I have been with, every man said, you're somebody worth fighting for. So as I'm going through one toxic breakup, this new one is like, you're somebody worth fighting for. So I'm like, oh, save me. Right? No, I go from one knight in shining armor to another one in aluminum foil to another one made of aluminum foil. So when I met my now husband and I was ending something else, honey, he was like, you're somebody worth fighting for. I looked at him and was like, don't you ever say that to me again. I said, because that's disrespectful. And he couldn't understand it. I'm like, that is so disrespectful. Don't you ever say that. But I have finally reached that point in my life where I recognize I was the common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
So at that stage in dating, he's like, why are you single? And I'm like, it's me. Like, why aren't you wifed up? Oh, it's me. I'm the problem.
That's when
I haven't
you realized that you were the villain in your own story. I'm not the victim. I'm the villain because I keep on it.
Yeah, and girl, that was before therapy. Imagine if I'd have had therapy back then. I literally just woke up one day like, it's me. I'm the problem.
But we don't sometimes, and it's crazy because when you get to that point and you realize it is like, it has been me, because it's like everything that I have allowed up to this point is on me.
Yeah.
Because if you never feed it, it can't grow.
Girl, listen. And that's the hardest part, in my opinion. That is the hardest part of healing, because I've been faithfully in therapy since 2020. Well, yeah, 2020. And so you figure 5 years going to therapy once a week and doing the shadow work, me being able to look back at my past, I'm not concerned about them fools. Mm-hmm. The problem was what I allowed to happen to me, you know, and I'm not talking about the situations where I was truly the victim. I'm talking about the situations where I kept signing up to be for this reoccurring role of victim. And that's what hurts when you look back and realize how weak you allowed yourself to be. That's the hard, like, how do you heal from that? Because now I have to go back and forgive myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when I tell people, like, healing is already ghetto, like, I'm gonna just be real. It is ghetto AF, y'all.
And it's truthfully, it never stops.
Never. Like, and I thought, like, okay, at what point in the journey am I healed? And somebody was like, when you're dead. I said, you're absolutely right, because I am healing. And so I tell people I'm healing. I'm not yet healed. So be careful, because you still don't know which one of me you fitting to get.
I got a shirt that's coming out, and it's going to be just for you. Guess what the tagline is.
Healing, not yet healed.
Healing is gangster.
Yeah, listen. Girl, I'm going to make a sister shirt that said it's ghetto AF. Okay? We just gonna go live and be like, but yeah,
because people don't realize it's like the amount of effort that you have to take just for yourself to get up out of bed every day, just to be able to hold conversations, hold space for other people. Because it's like, even when you're in your healing era, you still have people that rely on you. People that still look to you for advice, people that still want to come to you with their problems. And it's like, we're always going to be the nurturers. We're always going to give the advice. And I tell people quick, I do not sugarcoat. Where I used to be like, yeah, well, maybe. No, I'm going straight to the point now. I'm sorry. Right. If you're looking for me to sugarcoat it, I'm not that person anymore. It's not going to happen.
Wrong friend.
Yeah. But at the same time, and it's like, when you're taking on other people's stuff, that's more weight for you to get up off of you. Yeah. People don't understand. It's like, and we're never going to say no, because we always want to be that friend, right? But then again, we started talking about being a strong friend until we're not. So we also still have to set boundaries and say, okay, you know what? I get it. You're going through. Yeah. But and I don't never want to be the person to sit up there and say, no, I can't help you. But at the same time, I have to tell you that I'm still healing. Yeah. And some of it can be triggering.
Very much.
Triggering. It's like, in those moments, what do you do with those triggers? You know, I've learned to remember A Different World where Whitley's is like, relax, relate, release, relax, relate, release.
You over there doing that, and I'm over here like Martin, woosah, woosah. Because girl, it is a lot to process, especially when we are in this healer empath community. You know what I mean? Where we already feel everybody's pain, and because we're the strong one, we take on other people's, you know, feelings and emotions. And so when you're a person who is then intentionally tuned in, like me, making life coaching a living, right? So now I'm getting paid to sit and talk to somebody and listen and try to help them process. And so I had to learn the key word that I've learned that is a game changer for me is capacity. Mm. And so when my friends want to call, where I used to be that strong friend that processed everybody else's drama, I no longer have the capacity to do that because I've done that from 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. And now it's after 5 o'clock, I'm off. Now, I'm not saying I'm not willing to help you, but I'm saying you're going to have to get in where you fit in. Because after 5, after 6, baby, I'm not on duty. Amen. What they say, was it on Harlem Nights? When he was it or 5 Heartbeats? When he was like, my office hours from 9 to 5. Because, honey, I'll look at a text message. And friends, if y'all watching and y'all hear this, I guess now you know. Honey, I would look at a text message and leave you on red until 9 a.m. the next day. Like, I'm sorry that's happening to you. But
be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes going to sleep with that type of stress, somebody else's stuff, and then it just makes you think and relive, and you're like, I don't want to be here. Yeah. This space for me. And I'm with you. I need time to process during the day, not at night.
Yeah, and especially, you know, Shantae Moore's song, Shantae Got a Man at Home. Mm-hmm. So funny because you know I'm Shantae, right? But I feel her in that song because she was like, you know, I once was where you are. Right. Thought men were all the same, but, you know, I never gave up hope. And so she's like, I'm sorry that your man beating on you, cheating on you, doing all these things, but that ain't what I got going on over here. You know what I mean? So she's like telling her friends, like, I'm sorry that you're going through this. Mm-hmm. And I've been there before, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not there anymore. So she's like, I can't keep taking your call because Shantae got a man at home and he all good to me. And so I'm like, where are them callback tones? You remember back in the day when people called and it played? I need that to play on a callback tone for people after 6 p.m. I ain't got time. Yeah, all my people know now you better call me during the day. You better send that text before 5. Yeah. But I'm curious for you because I think we all have a breaking point. You know, like I said, mine was when I sat there and realized I didn't have a type. I just had a tagline that I went for. Clearly, if you said you're worth fighting for, I was like, save me, right? But so we all have like this breaking point. Was there a pivotal moment or maybe season in your life when you finally just realized you had to let go of the old you in order to heal? And if so, what did that moment feel like?
That moment was probably one of the darkest days. And I've had a couple of them, but this one was the absolute worst. And this was the day that I picked up a knife in front of my kids, in front of my husband, in front of my mom. And I literally was about to plunge it into my chest when my husband caught my hand midair. Mm-hmm. Like literally, it's only by the grace of God that that knife didn't enter into me. But it's also the grace of God that my daughter's voice was a chilling joke for me when she said, Mommy, please don't do this. I need you. Having that conversation with her was hard. She came and sat on my bed with me afterwards, and she just looked at me and said, don't ever do that again, please. Yeah. She said, because who's going to be here when I get married? Who's going to walk me down the aisle? Who's going to help me with my kids when I start to have children? She said, I can't do none of that without you. And it was like in that moment, even though I was still going through my own stuff, I knew I needed help. Yeah. And after that day, I started seeking therapy. And that is when my road started. Yeah.
And it's this may sound weird to say, because obviously, you know, that interaction that you had to have with your daughter was a very painful thing to go through. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't even know how I want to word this. It's okay. A lot of times as parents, and I'm going to speak for me, right? A lot of what I went through was when I was a solo parent. So my son is adopted. And so before I met my husband, I had, you know, a foster child by myself. And so I went through things in secrecy. So when I had my dark days, when I was, you know, mourning my miscarriage from my twins prior to having a foster child, you know, all of these things going on. And at this point, I'm still actively dating while getting restraining orders on this one. And you know what I mean? So I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. And, you know, when I was going through my darkness, I hid it, thinking that, oh, you're not supposed to show kids this, right? And so it got to a point where one day I finally just had I just had a breakdown in the car. I think I literally like pulled over. I had just got kind of broke up with, and it just all hit me like a ton of bricks. And so when I started crying, you know, all of this happened in front of my son. And I think he was maybe like 4 or 5 at the time. But when I tell you that child said some of the most educated stuff to me in that moment, and I was just like, I never should have been healing in private, because our children need to understand that it's not all sugar and sweet. And of course, we wish we didn't have to have those dark moments. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful that you and her got to have that conversation. That you're still here, Queen. You know what I mean? Because that whole situation could have went a different way.
Absolutely.
And even though that you're physically here, you could have still been mentally checked out.
Absolutely.
You know, but so I'm grateful that the takeaway from that was for you to be able to have that real moment with her. For you to hear it from someone who loves you unapologetically. You know what I mean? And for you to be able to pour back into her, that now gives her the understanding that if she ever has darkness, she knows who she can go talk to because she saw that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so it goes back to when we were like, Dad, God, why would you let me do that in front of, like, why would you let me do that in front of her or whatever? But now that's just one of the things where it's like, you're still here. So that happened for y'all. And there's still a way that you can come back from that. So I'm, again, most thankful at the fact that physically you are still here with us, but I'm most thankful that you are still mentally here with us, and even still taking that pain and that very vulnerable moment and turning it into a purpose. Your book, your community, the work that you are doing, you know, not only pouring into your children, but to other people's children, you know, because a lot of times we go through that darkness and we hide it. You know, there's a lot of people, we've all had dark moments, some to the extreme, you know, of where we've attempted to take something or do things, or we just give up. We just don't want to be here anymore. You know, we don't know what else to do. But it's just something that tugs at my heartstrings, where we flip it, where we take all that pain, all that hurt, all that loss and grief, and we turn it into something else, to the point where nobody can use that against you. Somebody else bring that up, you like, and so what? You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I love that, you know, that breaking point for you was just really that setback was really just the setup for your comeback. Literally. You know what I mean? And so I just applaud you for that. And I know that the community will also appreciate that, because I mean, again, so many of us have been there. Some people are there now, and in the future, other people will be there. It's sad to say, and I just feel bad for people who don't even have access to mental health resources, because that is really pivotal when we find someone that we can sit down and really have those dark conversations with and not feel judged.
And it's so crazy because I just met and this is the word alignment coming up again. I met a guy coming back on Amtrak. I'm just a jovial person. I start conversations with everybody. Coming to find he is a professor at Howard in the School of Nursing, and we were talking about basically the thoughts of suicide and people surviving in our community that we really don't talk about, and we just had a conversation because a lot of the times we look towards medicine and we don't realize that a lot of things are more mental, physical, and spiritual with us. And even though they say that mental illness is definitely a chemical imbalance, there are other ways that we ought to look towards healing before we look to medicine, because sometimes we do more harm than we do help. And I know that for me, that was one of the biggest things, because when I was on medication, that's where a lot of my dark like thoughts were coming in from. I kept telling my doctor, like, hey, like, I don't like the way that this medicine is making me feel. Um, and and she was like, well, I think you should stay on it. And I'm like, I'm not listening to you. I'm telling you, I'm going to wean myself off of this stuff, because it's making me a lot worse than it is making me better. And so I wound up weaning myself off of it. And I will tell you that is where my biggest moments of clarity started to like really come in, because I was no longer under the influence of something else to help me have a better mood. So now my mood is more of how I treat myself, how I talk to myself, how I show up for myself, how I, do things for myself without being apologetic for it. I used to always do things and feel bad that I was doing it for myself and not nobody else. But it's like, God says it's you first. You have to take care of you first, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
And I was pouring from empty on empty on empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that you experienced, young motherhood while processing trauma, while dealing with, these mental health challenges. How would you say that all of these experiences have now shaped your understanding of self-love and resilience?
Being a mom at 15, woo, that was me going directly into high school. And there was no room for error for me. I couldn't be a cheerleader. I couldn't be on the basketball team. I couldn't do nothing. It was go to work, go to school, come home, take care of your responsibilities. But I will say this, that there were a lot of stigmas put on me being a young mom. Of course, I had my son at 15, my second at 19, my third at 20, and my last at 23. So people were always saying, oh, she's never going to be anything but barefoot and pregnant. She's going to depend on the system. And I use that as motivation, nonetheless, because it was more of not just proving it to them that this is not who I am, but also to prove that to my kids that this is not who I am. And I say I worked the hardest to make sure that they were always provided for as a single mom and cared for. I did everything that I could. Now, mind you, I won't say that I was the best mom. And, that I talk about that with my daughter all the time, because it's hard to be a mom when you're in such pain. And a lot of the we project that pain onto our children without even realizing what we're doing.
Right.
And you know, but she and I have the best relationship now. She used to always say this, talk to me and not at me. But I was always in that raw moment.
Yeah.
So it's like in getting into that aspect, I feel like my kids have always been my biggest motivation. And now being a grandma,
Yeah.
my little princess is my even bigger motivation. So it's like everything I do for them. Because I know at the end of the day, they need the best version of me at all times.
Yeah.
So healing is linear and it has to continue. There are no more generational curses to be broken. I have broken that cycle. I can have conversations with my kids I couldn't have conversations with them before about. But that's all a part of growth. That's all a
Yes.
healing aspect is when you're actually able to be honest with yourself that you want to, owning that, sitting in it. And I'm gonna tell you, it's something different when you sit in your own stuff. That's like a
Listen.
whole melting pot, and you like,
Yes.
I feel exposed.
Right. You start looking in the mirror like, who are you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I always refer to when we start to do that shadow work, because there's no getting away from it, you know, and your shadow's always with you. So that dark, you know, the darkness is always there if you don't address it. You know what I mean? And you have to spend time being able to address it because it's always going to be there. It's always going to be something that is haunting you if you don't address it. And yeah, like you said, you know, being able to sit in that, to acknowledge that, and then get to the point of your journey where you can say, I'm breaking chains, you know. So number one, to be the chain breaker, and then to say it stops with me, you know, and to be able to teach your children. It doesn't matter how I was leading up until now. I'm telling you, at this point, I can acknowledge I wasn't the best. I can tell you I wasn't the worst either, but I'm gonna tell you I wasn't the best. And there's things that I probably could have done differently. And guess what? Tomorrow I'm probably gonna do something that I probably could do differently, because again, I'm a work in progress. But being able to have those open conversations, again, that's something that many of us didn't get. You know, if I would try to sit down with my mother, Lord, and tell her like how I felt about that. You're a child, you don't have feelings. I'd be like, Mom, but I'm 46. You're a child, you don't have, okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, I can honestly say now it stops with me. And you know, that's one of the most beautiful things, I think, that we get to wake up and do it again. Every single day that we wake up in our right mind with air in our lungs, we get to try again. We're not always going to get it right, but we get to do it. But I mean, again, we have to check ourselves before we get out here and start pointing fingers at people, you know? So yeah, I'm glad, you know, to hear that you can say you're in the part of your journey where you're like, it stops with me. Like we're not doing this anymore. And I don't care what age you are, where you are in life, when you get to that level to say it stops with me, it is the most amazing feeling.
It is.
And I think that love starts to hit differently too. And I'm not talking about the love, that external love that other people give you. I'm talking about the way you show up and love yourself, that self-love. And you know, yeah, it is. A couple weeks ago, my girl Carlin, she said, love is a verb and I am the subject. And I was like, come on, subject and verb in the sentence. Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling that one a little.
Yeah. Like her,
a lot of it.
yeah, her whole brand, you got to go back a couple podcasts. Her whole brand is love is the verb and I am the subject. And we sat down and had a whole conversation about, you know, self-love in action. And you know that it's more than just a feeling. That's something that we have to embody. And so with you, I know that, you know, I could see the self-love radiating around you now. Okay. I made it through the contents of the book. Okay. So The contents. I'm gonna hit page 1 real soon, okay?
I can't wait till you do.
Listen, you're gonna be like, if you don't stop texting me, I'm gonna be like, girl, don't even reply, okay? I need an outlet.
I'm used to it now. I welcome it. I welcome it.
I'm gonna be texting you like, you did this to me. But I'm curious for you, what does self-love look like in your daily life now, and how do you actively practice it despite the challenges? Because life still be lifing. So how do you actively practice it? I know you said self-care is a big thing for you, but what does it look like in your daily life now?
So one of the biggest things that I make sure that I do every day is brain dump. I brain heavily.
Yes.
I have a journal for just about everything. I have a manifestation journal.
Yes.
I have a prayer journal. I have a journal for my ideas. I have a journal for just me just getting everything out. But I have a journal just about for like everything. But self-love for me on a daily basis is like getting everything out of me that has came across my day, so that when I lay down at night, nothing keeps me awake.
Yeah.
Because I suffered from insomnia for a very long time.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy that when I finished this book, when I literally got all of that out of me, when I finished that last page and I hit submit, I cried for 3 whole days.
Yeah.
And my husband kept saying, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "You can't help me." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You don't understand. This is like something that I have to like literally like purge. I have to go through this on my own. I have to get this out of me." And when that last tear fell, I felt like the weight of the world was just gone. I felt light feather. And when I tell you, I have not lost an ounce of sleep since.
Yeah.
Sleep good at night. My husband say, "Dad, you make me knock out of the bed now." Yep, go ahead on, roll on over.
Yeah.
It's my spot. It's my turn now. I want to get off sleep. But I feel so good on a daily day basis. I get up early and I'm just like sitting on the side of my bed at 5:00. I start my prayers. I start my affirmations.
Yeah.
I start my day. I also have another book on Amazon. It's called A Grateful Journal. So I write about the things that I'm grateful for every day as well. And it can be the smallest of things, but nonetheless, the more you acknowledge the good things in your life, the better you feel.
Amen. Focus on the good, and the good gets better.
Amen.
Listen, I'm with you on the brain dump. I just said that if somebody were to get a hold of my brain dump book, I would probably be committed. Because it is no rhyme or reason. It does not make sense. It is just a cluster F of thoughts, ideas, feelings, emotion, whatever. And I just write until I stop. I don't have anything else to write. And then I can just roll over and be like, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, one day I'm gonna just go back and read it and see if it makes sense, because I don't even pay attention to the day. Like, I just open the book and whatever blank page that it lands on, I just start writing. So like, I don't even take the time to put it in order. So it's a dump. Like, it's supposed to be a disaster. Mm-hmm. But that's one of my favorite things to do. Like, I don't know why it's so relaxing.
It's important. You like you said, you talk to so many people on a daily day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And you're a life coach, so you take in a lot. So in taking in a lot, if you don't have a place to put that by the time it's for you to lay down, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
explosion waiting to happen.
Exactly. Then I wake up in the morning.
In the home.
Yes.
I'd be like, they'd be like, "Why are you so testy?" They ain't got nothing to do with y'all.
Girl, I done tried to fight them over tuna. Look, I done tried to fight the family over tuna fish one day. And I was like, you know what? My bad, y'all. It ain't even got nothing to do with y'all. So y'all want this tuna casserole or not? Because my bad. Let me grab this book real quick. So, sis, can you tell us a little about the SNCB Healing Circle? You know, how did that idea come to life? And, you know, maybe share a little bit about how it supports the women in reclaiming their power and their voice.
So the SNCB Healing Circle stands for, of course, you know, she's not coming back, because I want every woman to get to the point where they're shedding the version of themselves that is no longer serving them. And I wanted to create a space where women felt seen, heard, supported, and safe. Those are all very important words for me, because so many of us, like we say, hide in silence because we don't know who to turn to. And we always feel that if we tell somebody this is how we're feeling, they're going to think we're crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy at all. What it is that you need somebody to talk to. And sometimes talking to the people that we know isn't the best, because they don't have an unbiased opinion of who you are.
Right.
Everything that they think is going to be biased, whether they tell you it's not going to be or not, is going to be biased, because they don't see you as this person. They're going to, well, you're talking about, wait, what? You having suicidal thoughts? But if you don't understand, you can't relate.
Yeah.
And I just want women to be, you know, more open with themselves to healing, however that may look. Right. If it's starting with just grabbing a book and writing down how you're feeling, start there. If it's starting with, you know, reading affirmations, like we talk about, ChatGPT will give me everything. I will go in there and say, I need positive affirmations from the Bible. And it will pull up, and I will specifically say for women, and it will give me so many Bible verses. And when I start reading those Bible verses, I'm like, this is exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
But having the space openly, and I'm trying to build out the forum where women can just come in, and even if they wanted to be anonymous, they can come in and just speak on their behalf, and, you know, and just tell how they're feeling. And the group is on Facebook. And I just want them to know that it's okay. Just come in, just talk, come as you are, you know, shed the skin. Be there for a minute. You know, get the love from other women who are going through some of the same things that you're going through, and can offer great advice. Not advice that is just like, oh girl, just be quiet. You know, you go through this all the time. And when those people start shoving you off, that's when you feel even less seen. You feel even less supported, because it's like, I don't expect you to be the one to like shove me off, but here we are. That's why sometimes it's easier to talk to strangers than it is to our own friends and or family.
Absolutely.
Because they don't know it, right?
Right. Or they tell you it's not that bad, because the life that you have is a life that they think they want, you know, because we do a very good job at making it look pretty. You know, we package it up and make it look really pretty.
Bows and rhinestones.
Exactly. You know, and I think that people need to really truly understand that, you know, sometimes our bodies and minds just need space to heal in tandem. You know, and people really need to understand that healing isn't linear. You know, it's literally a rhythm, or like a dance, you know, and you have to handle it carefully. Like, it has to be done step by step. You know, and it's truly a process. But, you know, I want people to understand that it is a process that you deserve. We're not going to sit here and lie and tell you it ain't work. Exactly. Oh, it's work. It is work. But
work.
Yeah, but you're already doing work by being in these toxic situations. Absolutely. You're working harder, not smarter. Healing will have you work smarter. And for the listeners now, if somebody was out there and maybe they're struggling to bury their old self or to reclaim their voice, what advice would you give them to start their own journey?
The first thing that I would tell them is, one, hold up the mirror. That's the biggest thing. Because if you can't face yourself, you're going to take more time in healing than you actually probably should put in. And like we say, healing isn't linear, but facing yourself first, acknowledging those things that are holding you down, start setting boundaries. It is okay to say no. It is okay to say I'm not okay. It is okay to say I need space. And sometimes when we tell people that, they take us as a joke, or they think it's like, oh, she's just saying that, but she'll be right back. But they don't really understand that this is actually what I need, and I need for you to respect what I need. Right. So be okay with those words. No, being okay with setting boundaries. That is what's needed to have peace. Peace is the love language. I'm telling you, when you have peace in your life, you have so much joy. When I tell you, I breathe easy. Breathe easy. I don't allow anybody to get me out of my way. Like, okay, you done yet? You still rent? Okay, you finished? Can I talk now? I can't raise my voice because ultimately that's where my pressure points start.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, all of my strokes came from high blood pressure. I'm not going to get my pressure up. I'm not going to get out of character.
Yeah.
You don't have to. The one thing my mom is always telling me is, like, you don't have to give people the same energy they give you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard. I'm going to tell you. I'm holy, but I'm still a little hood.
Girl, listen. I tell people all the time, I'm half holy, I'm half hood. You better pray with me. Don't play with me. Girl, because listen, I used to be queen of matching energy until I realized that all the energy I matched was beneath me. Mm-hmm. And once I recognized that energy, because I never matched good energy. The whole logic behind that is just so crazy to me. Why is it so easy for us to match energy that's beneath us, below us, but we can't match positive energy?
Because and they always say it takes a lot more out of us to be positive than it is to be negative. Yeah. And again, that comes with growth. Because absolutely. When somebody is like being direct, outright nasty to you, it is the hardest thing in the world for you to just sit back and take it. Mm-hmm. But you also have to realize in those moments, it has a lot to do with them and nothing to do with you. So everything that they're projecting onto you is not your cross to bear. Mm-hmm. When they bring it back down, they'll be the first one to sit up there and say, you know what? I was having a bad day. I took some things out on you that I should not have. Right. And I apologize. But if you going from 0 to 100 with them, it's going to be a whole lot more than apologizing needed, because now there's apologies needed from both sides. Right. And two, not only that, it can destroy some friendships. Yeah. You gotta realize sometimes, and us as women, we can have some really slick mouths.
Listen, this mouth is reckless, honey. I said in one of my songs, I said, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Mm-hmm. But I'm at a point in my life where I choose to speak life. Yes, I can listen. I will cut you down with these words. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm rather poetic with it. I'm the one that everybody comes to.
A cuss word.
Never. Not never. I will go off on you. Yeah. And you're like, what What did she say? Did she tell me to have a blessed day?
Yep. After all
Did
of
she
that,
mean that? After all of that?
be blessed.
Right. Go over there and have the day you deserve. I done called you some name that you gotta Google. Chat GPT. What did that mean? Was she speaking another language? It's called healing. And I think for me, it was so easy for me to go down because I was comfortable there because I lived there. You know, you hang out in the hood long enough, you just get comfortable with the environment. And when you go into the suburbs, you're like, this is uncomfortable. Baby, it's nice over here now. This piece looks good on me. It feels good. So when I see that other stuff, I'm like, I'm top shelf. And I ain't never coming down. The days of me being that low-hanging fruit are over. And I really believe that, you know, healing starts when we choose ourselves and we literally just refuse to apologize for it. I don't care anymore when people say, oh, you've changed. And did. Oh, you acting brand new. I am. You know, like I wear that like a badge of honor now. She thinks she all that. I do.
But it ain't got nothing to do with you. It got everything to do with me. I'm supposed to love and dote on myself in that manner.
Exactly. So when you're looking forward, right? What do you hope that women take away from your story, from this book? You know, she's not coming back. I buried her myself. And all these projects that you're doing. What is, you know, one thing that you hope that people take away from it?
One thing that I really hope that they really take away from this is that once they have gotten rid of the parts of them that no longer serve them, do not look back. Because sometimes we have a knack of giving people more chances than they deserve. And so that means that you're always going backwards in friendships and relationships. And how many times have we let people back in that just really did not deserve that energy? Be okay with walking away. Be okay with saying, I choose me. Be okay with saying, if you're not for me, then stay from around me. That is the biggest. We say we match energy. We match energy, but I'd rather keep my good energy. I don't want bad.
Yeah, you're going to have to match this energy because I have no intention on spinning the block. The days of me spending, listen, I done been around that block a little more times than I want to admit. So I ain't spinning the block, baby. I'm not. It's Big Ben. I seen it. Okay, that was nice. It was cute the first couple times. I'm over it. You know what I mean? That's not the legacy that I want to build. Okay, like you said, we are chain breakers. And, you know, you get to choose when it ends. You don't have to stay on the ride. You know what I mean? You now you know better, so you got to do better. And that's, I don't know. I'm telling y'all, just come on over here. I'm telling you, come on over here. What they say in Poltergeist, come into the light. Yeah, come into the light, y'all. Let us love on y'all. Right. I'm like, y'all better come over here. Come over here and get this loving.
Come inside. Come inside.
Exactly. We get you a bottle of water and, you know, we put some tea on for you. Like Motel 6, we'll leave the light on for you now. Come on in. Come on in here, baby. This is nice. It's feeling nice in here, you know? It's the right temperature all year round. Yeah.
Down comforters. Let's go.
Hey, get your little neck pillow, you know, make it all comfy for you.
I deserve to be. In a peaceful space. You deserve to live. You deserve to laugh. You deserve to love unapologetically. And that comes with setting those boundaries.
Yeah.
Loving on yourself. And taking up space where it's necessary.
Girl, you better say that. Y'all deserve room to breathe, okay? I need y'all to understand that. Like, listen, it ain't just a cute little title. We deserve room to breathe. And that's what most people who are going through these cycles don't have. Absolutely. We keep telling y'all, come on in.
And it's so crazy because I was just saying this to a friend of mine and said, you know, unfortunately, and I said it in my podcast, unfortunately, there are a lot of women out here who have gone through what we've gone through, are going what we've gone through, and some of them haven't even gone through it, but unfortunately they will.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is a part of life that no one can escape.
Yeah.
But it's all in how we handle it.
Absolutely.
And it's having resources and the love that we pour into our communities to bring them back.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why we have to keep having these conversations. I've always been an advocate for healing, but now I want to take it a step further, and we need to heal out loud. We need to stop hiding in the corner and hiding behind things, healing. We need to start healing out loud. It's a shame, especially in the Black and Brown community, that many of us can say me too, but we need to start saying me too, and not just saying it to be, a part of what's trending, but I'm talking about truly saying it, me too, but not just stop at, the hurt.
Right.
Let's get to the heal. I want to get to the healing part. Can we skip to the good parts? You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, we got to keep having these conversations. And before we close, I want to give you the opportunity to let our listeners know how they can, connect with you, how and where they can go grab this book. Maybe they can get past the contents before me, y'all. And, just let them know what you have coming up, and honestly, how they can even join your healing circle on Facebook as well.
Yes. So, believe it or not, if you want to get the book, it's on Amazon. She's Not Coming Back. I buried her myself. I'm actually in the process of working on my second book, which is the prequel to She's Not Coming Back. And I'll tell you guys the name of that. It's called The Shift. I'll give you the table of contents for that one.
Get ready.
The Awakening. When Silence is Loud. The Mirror Doesn't Lie. And I spoke about that a lot in this podcast, is the mirror, holding up that mirror. Mm-hmm. Lessons Taught by Pain. The Exit Wound of Growth. Growing Through What You Go Through. Losing Others. Finding Self. Words That Wound, Silence That Scars. Surviving is Not Living. Farther Wounds and Forgiveness. And my men are not ready for that topic.
Girl.
Hard Lessons in Love. Letting Go of What Was Never Meant. Between Softness and Strength. Broken but Not Beyond Repair. Learning to Breathe Again. Choosing Self Over Approval. Faith Moved What Fear Could Not. The Masks Worn for Survival. Love After Wreckage. Grief Reshapes the Soul. Generational Baggage. Personal Responsibility. And that is going to be a huge one, because we also talked about that in this podcast. When we take on a lot of the generational baggage and personal responsibility that comes along with that. How do we break those cycles? Closure without apology, because even though you're walking away from certain instances, doesn't mean that you have to apologize for it. You're just done. You don't owe anybody an explanation for being done.
Right.
When ego stands in the way. Trust takes time. Redefining what love looks like. Protecting peace at all costs. Stories that scar, stories that shape. New seasons require new selves. Rising with intention. And the shift was always the goal.
Yes. They ain't ready, sis. They ain't ready.
And so the beginning of this says, there comes a time when life whispers, then roars, urging you to grow beyond what you thought you knew. Let this be that moment. Let this be that shift.
Girl, listen, you're going to have to add a disclaimer. You're going to have to go back and tell them, don't come over here with the shift until you You got to go bury it first before you can shift it, y'all. I'm telling y'all gonna need this first. Ladies, gentlemen, I'm gonna need you to go get this one first, okay? Y'all, what's that thing? Y'all better come up in here and get y'all one of these because, like, listen. Let me finish this one first, sis. Okay, let me do this one real quick. Let me hurry up because my sis on a roll. Okay, I got about 30. Look, I got about 30 days, 30 good days to finish this. I'm on it.
Yeah. So, that they can get that one. There's also a journal that I put out for grief, for people that are grieving. And that has a lot of exercises in it, including coloring pages, because a lot of people don't understand that sometimes you color through grief. It's a part of healing. It's artistic expression. And I did that after my father passed, which was another big thing that caused a lot of my depression. And then I have one that says thankful, grateful, blessed. So that book is also on Amazon as well. To get to the healing community on Facebook, you just put in SNCB The Healing Circle. When you get the book, there's actually a whole playlist. I don't know if you even got to that yet because you ain't got past the content.
I'm still on the table of contents, sis. Like I done read the before you begin in the table of content. So y'all, I'm not listen, y'all, listen. When y'all open the book, I read this and I ain't made it over here yet. Okay, y'all, like I ain't ashamed to say it. Okay.
And then in the back, believe it or not, there's also a 30-day exercise for shedding her and becoming you.
She didn't. Listen, y'all, when I come back and be like, oh, Helen is gone. I'm super excited. And the fact that you have the playlist, that's something that's so big to me because I'm a reader and I like doing immersive reading. So I love books where the authors have customized or curated like a playlist for us. So I have the playlist playing in my background and then I'll have like my headphones where I'm listening to the book on like, Audible. But then I also have like the book on my Kindle because I like to read. I like to hear, but then I like the vibes too. I be in my zone when I be reading. So the fact that you have added music in there, I'm like, yes, okay, that's my kind of healing because music is my love language for real. Like y'all know Room to Breathe, okay? Enough said. So music is my love language, and yeah. Oh, Helen fitting to be up out this jam, y'all. Okay, I'm excited.
I can't wait for you to listen to the playlist and you can say, girl, where you find these songs from?
Listen.
There's a lot in there.
Look, I'm so excited. Ooh, yes, like thank you, God. Thank you. Like, because I need that. I need that level of healing. I love that for us. So yeah, I will be sure to link the books in the description for you guys. Scrolling now, I also have her information in here, so that way you guys can reach her on social media for her Instagram and her TikTok. I will include all of that information in the description for you guys. You guys will not have any excuse on not connecting with my sis, okay? Y'all got to make sure y'all go over there and show her some love so she come back, because when this second book come out, I'm probably gonna be stuck at the contents again, y'all. I done heard it, but it's gonna be something different when I see it, when it's in my hands. Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited for all that you're doing, the podcast, the community, the book. Like I love it. And I love that as Black women, we get to show up, even though we are creating similar communities, we get to show up and share. And show people that even though our lanes are similar, we don't have to compete. that we can grow together and we can heal together. I think that's probably the biggest thing that excites me the most, is for people to be able to see us come together and unite. And there's no competition. It's her versus her. It's me versus me, y'all. Like we not.
I'm planning on having a healing experience sometime next year based around the book. And I would love for you to actually come.
Yeah, listen, keep me posted.
We'll definitely do that.
Yes, keep me posted. Like, cause honey, I'm here for it. Okay. Like if it's in my willpower, I'm there. And I want to take this moment to honestly say thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for just being you. As weird as that sounds, just thank you for just unapologetically being you, and giving our listeners, just the courage to embrace their own journeys. I see you, sis. Like, I so appreciate you. And I've told you before, and I'm going to say it again now. If there is anything that I can do to assist you on this journey, be it personal, business, whatever, you got me. We are locked in. We like, you know what I'm saying? We locked in now, girl. You can't get rid of me now. Okay. We too far into this now.
Amen. Yes. Amen. I told you, sister from another mister. You got
absolutely. Me. Absolutely. And family, I really hope that you guys, are tapped into this. And I hope that this conversation really just reminded you that, letting go doesn't mean that you're losing. It just simply means that you're creating space for the best version of you to emerge.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you guys, before we part ways, let me just leave you all with a little love and light. As always, I want to, remind you to keep protecting your energy and just living unapologetically and always honoring yourself first. I encourage you to keep breathing through the highs, the lows, and every single moment in between. And I want you to keep choosing peace, even when it feels just a little out of reach. And know that here at the Self-Care Club, you will always be seen, always valued, and will always be supported. So don't be afraid to take up space, to speak your truth, and make a little room for you to breathe. I love each and every one of you to life, and I am hoping that your day is not just amazing, but aligned, intentional, and yes, on purpose, filled with purpose. This has been another Room to Breathe podcast, and I cannot wait to connect with you all again soon. Thank you.